Emmerdale producer Sophie Roper has opened up about what viewers can expect from one of the soap's major ongoing plots, as Sarah Sugden and her grandmother, Charity Dingle, continue to hide the truth surrounding the death of the sinister Dr. Todd. Sarah unintentionally triggered Todd's downfall earlier this month when she shoved her during a heated argument at Charity's home, leaving Todd with a fatal head injury. The shocking incident brought Charity's disturbing sexual assault storyline to its dramatic conclusion. In the aftermath, Charity has been prepared to accept the blame in order to protect Sarah, and she is willing to do almost anything to prevent her granddaughter from being sent to prison. However, with further twists on the horizon, Charity could ultimately risk destroying her own future in the process. Speaking about the storyline, Sophie explained that the focus will now shift toward the emotional consequences the tragedy has had on both Sarah and Charity. She described it as a powerful and unusual story because Sarah had been enjoying one of the happiest periods of her life before everything changed. Sarah had a strong relationship with Jacob and was also enjoying life as a mother to her daughter. However, the single incident involving Dr. Todd has permanently altered the direction of Sarah's future, leaving her struggling to understand and accept what she has done. Sophie said viewers will follow Sarah throughout a difficult emotional journey as she attempts to deal with the consequences of that life-changing moment. She also explained that stories naturally develop as the plot progresses, and Charity's storyline was designed to explore sensitive issues while highlighting the pursuit of justice. The earlier part of Charity's journey focused heavily on her decision to report the assault to the police and seek justice for what had happened to her. Charity was believed by the authorities, leading to a police investigation, which was important because many survivors sadly feel unable or afraid to report such crimes. However, the reality is that cases involving this type of offence can often be extremely difficult to prove and prosecute, and the show wanted to portray that reality honestly. Sophie added that Charity's confrontation with the man who had caused her immense pain, humiliation, and suffering was an important part of her recovery, as she was able to reject the shame he had placed upon her. That powerful confrontation occurred shortly before Todd's death and helped shape the events that followed. Sophie confirmed that Todd's death was never planned or deliberate, but the incident will lead to a major storyline exploring the consequences from both legal and emotional perspectives. Sarah will have to confront the reality of taking a life, regardless of the terrible crimes Todd committed, and that will become a major part of her journey. Charity's decision to protect Sarah is largely driven by her fierce maternal instincts, with the producer describing it as her familiar tiger mum nature. Charity has repeatedly shown that she will immediately step in whenever Sarah needs protection, but this decision will be severely tested as the storyline develops. The secret will also place enormous pressure on the bond between Charity and Sarah because their relationship is built on deep trust, love, and respect, making the situation potentially one of the biggest betrayals they have ever faced. Sophie suggested that Charity's first decision was largely instinctive, driven by her determination to protect her granddaughter. Charity knows Sarah has an entire future ahead of her and fears that prison could completely destroy the life she has built, leading her to believe that she could accept the consequences herself and cope with whatever comes next. Charity's first reaction is to convince herself that she can accept the blame and deal with whatever consequences follow, believing that protecting Sarah is something she can handle. However, the secret she is keeping will inevitably influence her decisions and shape the way she thinks about everything that happens next. Although biology plays a role in Sarah's connection with Layla, Sarah has always considered the child completely her own, which reflects just how deeply she loves her daughter. There will undoubtedly be emotional moments when Sarah wishes the circumstances could have turned out differently. Sophie explained that Sarah has developed significantly over the past few years, and becoming a mother has opened an entirely new chapter in her life. Just as Charity has shown her fierce tiger mum instincts by protecting Sarah, viewers will see Sarah develop that same strong Dingle maternal instinct when it comes to safeguarding her own daughter. Sophie also praised Serena as an excellent new addition to the show, explaining that the storyline helps strengthen the established Sugden family presence within the village. Serena's experience as a police officer also makes her involvement with Sarah and Charity particularly interesting. The situation brings together three strong women who each have their own approach to dealing with an almost impossible predicament. Serena is highly principled and guided by a powerful moral code, but the trust shared between the three women could eventually be put under serious pressure as the storyline progresses. Sophie explained that making Sarah responsible for Todd's death simply felt like the right creative decision, as the writers never wanted Charity to become the person who carried out the violence. Charity was brought extremely close to taking revenge because she had every reason to be furious, but ultimately she chose not to cross that line because she refused to turn into the kind of person she hated. The decision was handled carefully because Sarah's character is presented as an ordinary young woman with a strong sense of right and wrong, someone simply living her life before one unexpected moment completely transforms everything. That sudden change is expected to connect strongly with viewers because it may make them wonder how they would react if they were placed in a similar situation. A single push has transformed Sarah's life, and the upcoming episodes will explore the intense emotional struggle she faces as she attempts to understand what she has become. The storyline will examine the consequences of Sarah's actions from a legal perspective, while also focusing on how she sees herself and how she attempts to process the trauma surrounding Todd's death. This is far from a straightforward tale of justice, because viewers may also question what kind of justice Todd himself deserved, creating a much wider moral debate within the story. As with many soap storylines, the characters will have to face the consequences of their choices and deal with the things they may ultimately lose because of their actions. Sophie stressed that the plot will remain centered on truth, emotion, family, and Sarah's struggle to rebuild her life, while legal consequences will bring additional complications and unexpected turns. As the story continues, viewers can expect the plot to challenge their expectations, with surprising developments designed to keep the drama unpredictable, emotional, and compelling. Enormous pressure and force her to overcome challenges she has never faced before. Sophie explained that there is still plenty more to discover about Charity, and that the character offers many opportunities for powerful material in the future. The writers therefore face the ongoing challenge of creating fresh, exciting, and emotionally powerful storylines that allow Charity to continue evolving. Although it may be difficult, they are eager to embrace that challenge and explore new sides of her personality. There is also plenty more to come for Charity and the other characters, especially as they continue living together in the same village, raising the possibility that old connections and past histories could eventually resurface. Sophie also highlighted the importance of Charity's friendship with Vanessa, explaining that the pair have developed a meaningful bond despite once sharing a romantic connection many years ago. Their friendship has now become an important part of the show, and Vanessa's support for Charity during the current storyline will create some powerful and emotional moments. Their strong connection is one of the reasons the friendship remains so popular, and Vanessa will continue playing an important role as the story progresses. Meanwhile, Charity's relationship with Mackenzie is also going to face a difficult test, particularly because Mac often finds himself dealing with the consequences of decisions his wife has made. Despite the challenges they have experienced, they remain an extremely strong couple, and the show will explore whether they can once again find a way through another major crisis. Charity and Mackenzie have endured plenty of dramatic moments together, but their greatest strength comes when they stand united and work together to overcome their problems. Their relationship will certainly be tested, but there is hope that they can emerge from the latest turmoil stronger than before. Emmerdale continues to air on weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.